This happened one night when I was about 10 years old, around 1996. I'm currently 26 years old, but I remember this night vividly. We had just arrived to Warsaw, Indiana to visit all of our family members, which consisted of my aunts, uncles, and cousins. My aunt and uncle's house was in the middle of the woods, where the closest gas station would take at least 10 minutes to drive to. By their house, about 50 feet away, was a lake where we used to go fishing when I was very young. After visiting with my family for about 2 hours, all of the adults decided that they wanted to go to a fancy restaurant and eat, while the younger side of the family, including me, wanted to stay home and play video games because it was very rare when we were able to see each other. All the adults agreed that I was old enough to look after the younger kids, so they allowed us to stay behind. After about an hour of playing video games with my cousins, I realized that I hadn't taken a shower all day because of the long drive to get to Indiana, so I decided to get cleaned up. After grabbing fresh clothes out of my bag, I told my cousins to stay in the room until I got back because I was responsible for them. I went into the bathroom and turned on the shower and was waiting for the water to get hot. This bathroom was one of the weirdest bathrooms I have ever seen. Inside the shower, there was a window that had a perfect view of the lake. Near the window, there was a large air conditioner. After the water had gotten warm enough, I entered the shower and just stood there for about 10 minutes because it felt so good. This is where the night turned terrifying. As I was taking a shower, in the corner of my eye, I saw something move. I had the feeling that something or someone was watching me through the window. The hot water was steaming up the window, so I really couldn't see out of it. What I saw made me drop my washcloth and made me freeze. I saw what looked like a man that was about 7 feet tall, with long hair, standing by the air conditioner, right next to the window that led to the shower. I couldn't move a muscle. The man had very long hair which covered his face. He also had long fingers, and his nails looked like they hadn't been cut or cleaned for ages. His skin was dark yellow, the kind of yellow you see when you mix brown and yellow together. His eyes were normal-looking shade of brown. He was just standing there holding something, watching me as I took a shower. I couldn't figure out what it was, but it looked like a flask because he was taking sips out of it. As he stood there, I was scared out of my mind, but all I could think about was my cousin's safety and that I need to get to them. After about 2 minutes, the man got really close to the window and started to smile. His teeth were as disgusting as his fingernails. To this day, I can still remember his face as if it happened yesterday. After he looked at me for about 30 seconds with his face pressed against the glass, he backed away and just sat on the air conditioner, drinking whatever it was in his hand, staring at me like I was the only thing that existed in the world. The only thing I could hear was his laughter and the water hitting my back from the shower head. I slowly used my left hand, which he couldn't see, to grab the towel off the rack. I quickly threw the towel over the window to hinder his view of me and the bathroom. I quickly ran into the room where my cousins were with just my towel on and quickly told them to get out of the room and go to the back room and lock the door. The back room was the farthest away from the bathroom and was one of the few doors in the house that had a lock. After they all ran in the room, I got the phone and dialed 911. I told them that the man was watching me through the window and I was scared. They said they would be there as soon as they could. After getting off the phone with 911, I reluctantly went back into the bathroom. I slowly took the towel off the window, and to my horror, the man was still there. But he wasn't near the window or on the air conditioner. He was near the lake behind the house. He stared at me for about a minute longer, with a malicious smirk on his face. By this point, I was terrified, but I knew my cousins were safe. Then, like he was being controlled or something, he quickly did a 180-degree turn and walked straight into the lake, his body descending until I could see only the top of his head, then nothing. He was gone in a second. I could not believe my eyes. This only made me more terrified. I had just watched a man walk right into the lake, like it was his home. I figured he would come back up after a minute or so. After 5 minutes, he never came back up. To this day, I can't explain it. The police came right after that. They searched the area and found nothing. I have never been more terrified since.